Casting from the Life Army YouTube and the Hey Life Army Instagram. I think we can be seen, but
I don't think you can be
okay,
seen
let's
very well.
slightly change this a little bit. That better, everybody? Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
I think it works. Okay, here we are for first ever episode of, it's not the first episode of SïDI, but the first available episode of SïDI. Every other episode was stolen by Mark Zuckerberg because there are quite a few episodes, but here we are. SïDI really takes into account, culture at large, discusses its relationship to the pain matrix, pleasure matrix, all that stuff.
Right.
So, before I think sometimes we talk about stupid celebrities. When I say stupid celebrities, I just mean like celebrities. Stupid celebrities.
I remember those episodes.
Right? Yeah. We were like on the road when I do them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So here we are. I'm going to get really hot doing this because the air conditioning is not working for some reason. Just decided it doesn't want to turn on. I think because the heat's on in the other room. I'm going to have to change it.
And we're discussing memes, so there's some white supremacy that's probably going to come into there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so we're talking about memes, first of all, the discussion of what a meme is, period.
Right.
Some people describe it as a distillation of a belief that's communicated without nuance or detail. So it's just still way down and can be communicated with an image or a symbol or, right?
Right.
Sure, everyone who uses symbols uses memes, et cetera, et cetera. Can everything in life be distilled down that far, though?
Not really.
Not really. And the question is, and the fact that they claim there are organic memes and there are forced memes or manufactured memes.
But isn't that the whole point?
But aren't they all manufactured then?
Right. Isn't the pain matrix trying to make life that can only give you parts of life that can be memed?
Yes, I think that is true. And so now we're thinking about the speed at which.
I think you are out of the frame again.
What? No. Oh, fine. The speed at which I can back up a tiny bit. The speed at which a meme cycles.
Right.
And also that you could say that how do I put this? A meme is also just a part of a thing.
Right.
So if I say that we'll use the example of social media platforms. Facebook took from 2004 all the way to the peak of Facebook was 2014.
Right.
The absolute pinnacle of Facebook was 2014. And that's 10 years from beginning to peak. And then it only took 2 years to fall apart. Maybe 3,
right.
I guess. So by 2018, it had completely fallen apart.
Yeah.
2016, it was used to do certain things. And then for the greater meme landscape, and then it fell apart.
And did Day Life Army leave at the beginning of 2018?
Yeah. Well, I got banned at the
Right.
beginning of 2018. So
Well, that was the beginning. That was that, or
that was the beginning of 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, it was the beginning of 2018. I got banned. So we kind of, it's still there. You can go look at the page. Sometimes I post stuff on it, but it's not. I got banned. So
it was 2019.
When I got banned?
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
2018 was the first Tumble exodus.
Oh well, yeah.
Because
We
I
weren't
remember when I
on
was
there.
coming
Yeah,
IRL,
we
y'all
weren't
were
on.
on.
We weren't using it
Right.
to have conversation anymore.
And I feel like
I
that's
agree.
where it really fell
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. So 2018, yeah. We stopped using it in 2018 so much for any group activity. So at any rate, that is 10 years. Give it 12 total time. Clubhouse, on the other hand, when did Clubhouse start?
Started summer of 2020, I believe.
Really? Is that
Yeah.
when they started it as a
Not when
company? No. I
Oh,
want to know
sure.
what, because 2004 Facebook was an exclusive platform, right?
Right. Maybe the beginning of 2020.
Oh, It was. I like wanted it like 2013 or something. I'm like, hey, I give them the benefit of the doubt. They like started it. They just like kept it private and like just for their company. And no, April 2020.
Yeah.
And is it over or is it over?
It's over.
It didn't even get a full year.
But I've never seen the mania fucking crazy.
Be quite as high. Well, that's the thing.
Right.
The faster you push the cycle, the shorter lived the item is, and the less you're actually going to get out of it. No matter what, it doesn't matter if the numbers are inflated.
Yeah.
And by that I mean it's like the users are inflated, like real quick, 1 billion people all of a sudden, or the amount of money it's worth is inflated. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Time is a way bigger metric for value than any of those things.
Well, LO lasted like 3 days, but it was because they launched it with no features. Right. So at Clubhouse, everyone joined it and was like, this is so great. There was Clubhouse mania.
Features.
People were like, I spend all day, I go to sleep and Clubhouse is on. There was a culture that developed very quickly. And then, just people were like, all right, we're going to get back to.
Are we ever going to get back to this? Other things? Right. Well, before we go much further, let's just do our normal commercial break, sponsored by the only sponsor that will ever be on any of these channels, Automat. You should wash. Just wash, for crying out loud. Just wash. I've been saying this for, 7 years? Not 7 years. That's a lie. But it's not that complicated. Wash, see what happens. See what happens. You could ask someone else what happened to them when they washed. You could not, and just wash something and find out. It's best to wash in multiples of 12. In fact, I'd rather you wash 48 than you wash 50 because I don't care about your money. It does not matter. We're talking about money here. There's other ways to wash too. If you're washing money, filthy lucre, you can do it through PayPal.me/washitall or Cashapp.me.
Cash.me.
Oh, thank you. Cash.me/$washitall. And then what? That's the door.
Do that every time.
And then you can DM at Real Cult Girl on Twitter, and she'll send you a link that has all the crypto links and secret money links, secret stuff that you want to wash. And you can also email 100f@automat.me and talk about washing durable goods, assets, and that sort of thing. Even if all you're doing is letting the 100f borrow them for a period of time, that's washing too. All right. Where were we?
Trying to go back to whatever life was before Clubhouse
But you can't. The memes, just because the meme isn't growing, right? Or profitable anymore or anything like that, it happened.
Right.
Anyone who was there for it knows. They know now because of Clubhouse that the issue wasn't that you couldn't talk to each other on social media. That has never been the issue. And on top of it, social media itself in all of its forms, you have to ignore the person off screen. I don't know if she's doing anything interesting. But you have to ignore her. On top of it, the format of social media is memification of your whole life.
Right.
Twitter, you have 240 characters. Facebook, Sparky was taught to prefer the algorithm on Facebook called Sparky. Sparky was taught to prefer images over lengthy posts and words. And
also encourage you to post. Remember, Facebook used to make the text bigger if you posted. I used to edit my posts.
Everyone be like, no, let's make it real digestible.
Yeah. Let me take a couple letters out of words to make it
yes. And then they started doing you could do a banner of image behind your writing and stuff to make it stand out. But here's the thing though. Doesn't all of media call us a meme cult? don't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Why do you think they might be doing that? Since we don't even use memes that much. Anybody? We use posts on social media, but do we make a lot of memes?
No.
No.
Usually people make memes for us.
Yes. We've been
spend the least amount of time on the memes.
Memeing.
They kind of come.
So, but why would they be doing that?
Because, well, we tell story all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, the example I always use is that for me, it did feel inherently viral. And not like viral, like something goes viral.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your life goes viral. Like
right.
Your life in the thing kind of goes viral. It made so much sense to me without me understanding what that even meant, that I wanted to look at it and look at it and look at it and look at it. And I understand
people
and
be
a part of it. Yeah, like the experience itself is mimetic.
Yes, and I think I would not disagree with that. I would also add, though, that one of the reasons why we didn't die with any of the platforms, we did not die with any of the exposés in the Daily Mail or any of that this past summer, is because it's actually incredibly nuanced and has a lot of detail.
Right.
And so once you're in, you're like, I want to find out what else I don't know.
Yeah. And we're not dependent on any platform.
And sometimes you might find something that you're like, I hate that. Do you know how many people that were in Temple who then offered, not forced, they're fucking insane, okay, crazy, offered to join Daily Life Army and force people to live with me. I don't like you that much. That's insane. I remember when Matthew Farrell found out that I didn't start an army to live with him. He was aghast. His face fell. He was like,
how dare you?
I was like, excuse me? You think I did this to live with you? Why do I want to live with you?
He thinks he's the perfect roommate, and that's why he's
the worst. Oh my God, the worst roommate. The worst roommate ever. It's like, who wants to have a roommate? That's not why I did this. At any rate, why would I want you as a roommate? Please also note that in any story that includes Matthew Farrell, I wasn't trying to have sex with him. Wiz was not trying to have sex with him. No one here was trying to have sex with him. That's all I'm going to say. No one's trying to have sex with him. Therefore, why would you enforce a roommate situation? That's insane. So many people, when they offered it, they were like, military? Fuck no. Like, you're going military? You're talking about a military? You're talking about a military? That has to be wrong. And you'll find people talk about that on online places. It has to be wrong. I'm like, okay, you could find out more. You could say that's the meme and that's it.
Right.
And that's fine. That's
a great way of narrowing people down too.
Yeah, I mean, no one said they had to leave Temple.
Right.
They just got really, really mad at that. I mean, anyone can be in Temple now. Nobody's stopping anybody from being in it. And being in Temple doesn't mean you have to do any of the. If you claim Temple, you don't really have to do anything.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. You just have access to potentially standards. That's it. So, at any rate, oh, look at that train. There's a train, and somebody painted a wildlife scene on the side of one. Did you see it? There was moose.
It felt like animal nativity or something.
Yes, it was in a rust color. Anyway, there's a train that goes right by this building. It's nice. It's loud, but it's nice. So meme life cycle, like how do you, so I have plenty of questions to ask on the subject, but like, that's where we're at. That's what we're talking about, meme life cycles. How do you, I'm looking at my notes because I take notes and I make notes. Well, first and foremost, you're 28, right?
Yes.
I am 44. Do meme life cycles seem way faster to you? Or does it not? Or do you feel like you're young enough that like it's been fast the whole time so you don't notice?
It's way faster, but like everything being a meme makes it faster because it is now going on just the way that the pain matrix is accelerating.
Right.
And like, you know, the Evergreen ship and the Suez Canal, like that was happening and it was a meme. And then when it was over, the meme was over. So it was like,
it's never after the fact. Like,
when did it? I mean, yeah. No, memes
Last like a couple days.
used to last a lot longer. Like I swear that frog on the unicycle, that meme lasted forever. Like boy. I mean, you know, now things are just
it did last forever.
Super
many years.
right. So they go super fast.
Well, it's not just gobbling it up and throwing it away.
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
And then there's memes that go fractal. And
Yeah.
kind of like split off into a million categories. But, well, what I was going to ask you, and maybe this is a good, because if it has to do with life cycles too, like, are memes actually speeding up or is time speeding up?
No, okay. Then we have to talk about time for a second. Time is real,
right,
and it is also a construct.
Right.
We started new time for the pleasure matrix to be done with this pain matrix's construct of time. To be like, every day when I wake up, I'm living in a different time than this matrix has imposed. I mean, it feels like calendar work. I'm going to say it. We have to work out different words to say this because we're live on like 2 platforms and I don't feel like having them taken down, though we will always have a copy. There's a little piece of data in the community that surrounds a letter of the alphabet that you guys all know.
Right.
And it's about that what's their word for the Great Reset? They call it restoration or restart. What are they calling that? They have their own estimation. Like, in that community, they see it as the globalists have New World Order and the Great Reset, but the patriots, patriots class of the world is looking to do a great restart. So these 2 separate things. One of the features of the Great Restart, or I can't remember, renewal, restoration, I think.
Restoration is what they view as the positive one.
Yeah, they think that is the positive one.
Awakening, is that what it is?
No.
Okay.
Awakening is just people being like, wait, something weird's going on.
Right.
Where am I? Conspiracy is real, all that stuff. That layer.
You gotta be awake to restore.
The conspiracy matrix, yes. Right. And then restoration is the same timing and everything as what would be the Great Reset. One of the features that wasn't always a big deal in it until maybe like a couple months ago, maybe I started seeing it around, is that when the Great Restoration happens, which means in their book, the right winners win,
right.
Winners win, they would move from the Julian calendar back to the Gregorian calendar. Am I right? Did they do that in the right order? I mean, they're going to move back to the Julian calendar? Which one are we on now? Gregorian. Julian.
Julian, because there's July and August, which is Julius and Augustus.
Yes.
But the Gregorian is not what are they going to remove those two?
I don't know how they're going to work
starting
out.
The year. They want to start the year in April, right? So it starts on the spring equinox, and
the Gregorian does.
That's what I think the Gregorian one is what we're using now, and I think Julian is just a specific classification of that, like what the English-speaking countries use, or
we use the Gregorian. Yes,
we do.
Gregorian. And they want to go back to the Julian calendar because time is the ultimate matrix in terms of control. It is the ultimate matrix in terms of control.
Right.
From the minute Rico, Wiz and Co. came onto Facebook at all, we were talking about your time, because time is the ultimate means of control of, humans mainly. I mean, humans, let's just say it. Humans mainly, of all earthlings, humans. Animals, your body, the earth body is time. So animals have time embedded in them. They have it, but it's you can't confuse it without their mind being involved. So our minds are very much involved. And the calendar is marked like crazy with different, you're supposed to feel like this here, it's supposed to feel like this here, it's supposed to feel like this here. And even if you think you have your own familial traditions and religious traditions and everything else, it still marks the calendar. So you still feel it. I grew up without holidays of any kind. They don't, Jehovah's Witnesses don't describe anything they celebrate as a holiday. Yeah.
And I grew up with my family picking the most
the exciting holidays that they wanted to celebrate.
Hanukkah,
Jewish or not, doesn't matter.
Christmas, yes.
It doesn't change the fact that on those dates throughout the year, there's a certain energy in the air. Because collectively, the majority of the projectors, human projectors, are in that space and time for that time. So we started a new time. I started a new time in the pleasure matrix to get a little space. And the longer you do it, the more space you get. We started officially on 19th day of the 4th month, which was the Gregorian calendar's, what was it? 4-1? 5-1. 4-1. 4-1. 4-1. On April 1st, on the Gregorian calendar, we started a new calendar. And it means everything feels slower to me. So I don't care that they're speeding up.
Right.
Everything's slower to me. So I'm like, go ahead, go crazy. And watching things happen and not like jump into them.
Yeah.
NFTs.
If we were truly a meme cult, would we not have minted like fucking
so many
NFTs and probably made some money off of it?
We would have made so many. It would not have been, it's not a complicated thing, right? Once you're online, you figure it out, just like making a website or doing a thing. It's not that complicated. Ex-soldiers, it's not that hard.
Kind of been on the crypto thing for a while.
I've been on the crypto thing for a while now. So, yeah, it's not that hard. Once you just figure out how to do the thing, you just get on and do it, right? So I think they are manipulating time to be faster. Because the number one thing to take away from humans is time. Both like dying young. Humans die way young. And they pretend that they're like giving you extra time. They're like, oh, our tech has been so great. You went from dying at 30 to 80. And you're like, well, we used to live like hundreds of years. So I don't understand why
does everyone get cancer?
Now. Suddenly now everyone gets cancer. We're gonna cure that for you by stopping giving it to you. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love us. So yeah, they're manipulating time to go faster. It's not that things are going faster. People's day, I have so much time in my day. I started in 2009. I shut down my business and literally just practiced having time. So I tell people they have to learn to do time. It's not easy to do in this matrix, to learn to do time. Like it feels like you're in prison. That's why it's called doing time, to be in prison. And I started practicing. So I started practicing over a day ago to have a lot of time. And aren't days really long for the most part, and weeks and months inside the pleasure matrix? Because you're just not running around and being crazy. You're not running around.
And they do fluctuate. There are still times that they,
things seem a little faster or tighter and longer.
Expand and contract.
But in terms of like your own personal memes, it feels like forever.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've been here forever.
Yeah,
and I felt like that after 6 months doing this. I was like, I've always been.
This is ridiculous. This is taking forever. It does feel like it takes forever, but that way I'm like off of the. I don't have to. You don't have to be subject. You don't have to be subject to the way the matrix wants you to feel.
Well, spent time is large. Spent time is longer than wasted time.
Oh yeah, because you get more.
Yeah.
When you spend time, you just get more time back.
Right.
It's like investing money. Well, my other question for you is, how do you feel about being memed? Whether that's ex-soldiers, whether that's ex-soldiers memeing you, like deciding who you are.
Right.
Didn't an ex-soldier post online that you were being trafficked and abused by me? Like in the last month?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're being memed by ex-soldiers, mainstream media, sure.
Just got memed the other day. Someone did a cosplay of the Jesus show and filmed it, and they actually got someone to wear brown face to be me.
Ooh, where's that? What platform?
Emily clipped it. We haven't. We found it this morning.
What platform?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
What did they put on their face?
It was like silverish. It was like gray paint.
They put paint on their face?
Yeah.
Masking. We'll get into those on other SïDI episodes, but masking and chilling that.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy. Wait, it was gray paint? What was their?
They were white, and I guess they were trying to make it a little spicier. Maybe like a little thin beard. And then they did the towel and the.
Why didn't they hire somebody, or I'm saying hire somebody? Ask someone else.
It was awkward because it so made it look like that guy was being forced to do the video. He was really uncomfortable.
Was that the idea or no?
I don't think that was the idea. I think it was a little bit of a solipsistic thing.
I was trying to make it really deep. Okay? And people have very great ideas. I'm being trapped. Yes. So they're mimicking you to be uncomfortable. Because you're uncomfortable in your own brown skin.
Memes tend to have layers, bro. When you get memed, it's like, I don't think the person always recognizing the layers about themselves that they're putting into it.
Demons never do. They just don't.
They don't understand projection as a thing.
They're simple creatures, demons. They're simple creatures. They they're just doing the one thing. Ask David Dobrik.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen his videos, but they're pretty simple. Pretty simple. And they are apparently hysterical to him. That simple. So let's be memed by someone who doesn't know you.
Right.
What about when you're memed by people who do know you? Oh, thanks for fixing that, because I can't do it. I hate. There's 5 pounds of potatoes involved in the set. That's all I have to say. It's a bag of potatoes involved.
Hey, a military that doesn't have a bag of potatoes sitting around is not a military at all. We never had peeling potatoes as a thing. But,
sure didn't. Give me a kitchen duty, but
yeah,
never got that serious.
Never
I was going to talk about that.
Scissors or anything like that.
I was going to say that if this, how do I put this? We'll talk about it in a minute. We'll talk about other cults that have been memed to death.
Right.
Into death, very recently. But we'll get into it. What I think about that. So, what was I saying? Oh, what's it like to be memed by someone you know? Someone you don't know is watching your shit, right? Memes you. You're whatever. You don't know me, right?
Right. Well.
How does it really make you feel?
I don't know. Depends on who is doing it, and if the meme is kind of ultimately, I'm always glad to see a meme of me. I don't really take it that personally. I'm okay, cool. More propaganda. Right. More, it's just advertising. And then, there can be a bite on it, I guess, for a second, but I usually return very quickly to great, that this is happening. So when you say meme, do you mean when the press memes you and stuff like that?
No, I'm saying when people who don't know you meme you, that's totally different than when someone who knows you memes you, or someone who's trying to know you.
Right.
Put it that way. Even if they don't know, they're trying to know you. Back in Temple days, I will not say their last name. Remember Jonathan? We call him Nux.
Nux?
Yeah, from the character from fucking Mad Max Fury Road. No.
I don't remember him. Or maybe
You've talked to him, and Emily's talked to him. You guys didn't really meet him, but you definitely never met him IRL, neither did I. But you guys talked to him on the phone. Emily's talked to him, Jonathan. Anyway, he's a soldier. He was a soldier in the U.S. military.
Ah, yeah. Yes. Yep.
Did you ever see the memes he made? The video memes? He's like, this is what he didn't notice really at all. And just seeing shit online, right?
He was just talking to the camera. Right?
Well, he was doing things like he's saying it's his audition tape to join.
Right, yeah.
Being crazy. At some point, he lost this shit. Why we called him nuts? Because he was like spraying Glade into his mouth as part of his bid. We were like, that's not the standard. That's a television show. But he understood day life memeing in a way that nobody else did, simply because he's crazy. Not crazy, but like he's experienced a whole lot of crazy from the pay matrix, and he's like, I was just
from the military,
doing this. Yeah, but it was like Temple days. This is like before military. Everyone was like, no one knew I had it.
He was ahead.
He was ahead.
Because military memes, like they meme themselves.
Oh yeah.
You got to, because they have deeper relationships than pretty much
with each other.
Anyone.
Yes. Which is why people join it and stay in it, even if it's a fucking.
That's why it has a hypnotizing effect.
Yes.
You know.
Well, speaking of which, so what are the elements of a? Well, let's go back. Then, if you think about what you feel about it, right? You have any other questions for me that apply to this area, so we get off that subject?
I don't think so. Well, what I was going to say is it depends if it's a forced meme or an unforced meme. If it's an unforced meme, it just feels like you're in the moment, bro. It just is like
felt you felt them. It's like
exactly.
Let's do it.
A forced meme is kind of like it says a lot about the person making the meme. Like, oh, okay, so it shows a lot about how they feel.
It's a lot of work too. Even if it doesn't take a lot of time, it's a lot of work. So how do you feel about memes as weapons of war? Because let's go back and say like a meme, it depends on if it's organic or forced, right? If it's organic and they're totally ripping you a new one, like they're just calling you fucking out, you still respect it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a good meme.
Yeah.
You can't help it. I don't know how you could.
Hey, bro.
Harvest
in there, but that just makes my oak score go down. So
just keep going more. But as a weapon of warfare, which is literally how they're using it now.
Right.
Because let me just say it. Those nuclears, I'm not going to call the right name, nuclears, you know what I'm saying? Those kind of weapons, they're not even real.
Right.
Like a meme is real.
Yeah.
That's a real weapon because it makes humans behave a different way, because humans are made of story. And they figure, and when I say they, with a capital THUY, they figure the one that can make the story happen the fastest will win.
Wait till the Geneva Convention bans them.
At some point, like
it's World War III.
They're already being crazy. YouTube just took down. Let's just say YouTube. They just took down 2 accounts. The report is associated with Russia at the behest of the Ukrainian government. Like what?
I mean, on a national level, Los Angeles was, people who were convicted of a crime were not allowed to use the internet until their trial was over.
Right.
So, I mean, that
was LA, Orange County, or LA?
In LA County, I believe.
And the same with they're paying people to meme. They're paying people to meme like that. They're so excited to go get a shot in the arm. Yeah. And the one woman who I wouldn't say she exposed it. She just put it up because she's a influencer who was offered to her. They're paying people $1,300 to do it.
Right.
Per platform. That's not a little bit, right? That's influential amount.
Yeah.
For an individual, $1,300. It's an influential amount.
On Facebook, there was that one shit poster whose other job was working for a certain government agency in a certain small country that we all know. I was like, that's literally on your profile that you do that, and also you're memeing about, this certain small country, and
Yeah, no, it's just totally. It is a weapon of war. It's been a weapon of war for a very long time. It is not new. It is just sped up.
Didn't they use that? I mean, whether it wasn't the whole, the Nazis memed.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they kind of came into power.
Which is why they say we're a meme cult, just in case I'm a Nazi.
Right.
I mean, to be able to say.
And isn't that really the place that they won, kind of, you know?
Yes, they did win.
They won the story.
They did win.
Right.
And it wasn't like people were actually fighting each other. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the sides were not opposed to one another.
Right.
They're never opposed. Like I said, I memed, and I was like, if you think that the only place there's a treaty is Antarctica, you're stupid.
Right.
What? Like one place? They're all like, you know what? Everything else we're doing, crazy. Can't stand you. Let's fight. Let's not do it.
Right.
But there, we all agree.
Hey,
Let's just do some science
the polar bears,
together.
All right.
Not polar bears, penguins. There's no polar bears.
There's no bears down there. Is it just penguins? And
at most, yes. Anywhere. There's no other animals.
Huh. Interesting.
Nothing lives down there.
Just the Masonic birds, the black and white checkered birds.
The tuxedo birds. Only tuxedo birds. Yeah. No, it's all down there. And I saw a meme the other day. It's like, you guys have seen
down there.
It's
that's a little bit globy of you.
It's still down from where I am. It's still down. It's not underneath me.
It's south, right?
But it is still south, which is still down.
Right.
No matter where I am, it's down. There's a meme. It's a cartoon. So it is a meme. It's a political cartoon. And it's like, I don't know, like a guy running for a archway that's a door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those, like, they said 2 weeks to flatten a curve. Then they said 2. It's like one of those memes. And it has a guy, like, not riding him, but behind him with a carrot. That's like 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever. The carrot's going out. Now, though I've seen it like 3-4 times. And by the 4th time I saw it, I was like, oh, wait, look. On the entranceway, it has 2 checkered flags crossed like this.
Mm.
They had to meme everything because they have to get their symbols in everything.
Right.
To keep humans hypnotized, because humans are story. They're made of stories. So like, get all the memes in there. Then we run the story. Then we run the humans. And if humans have time, which they have been granted quite a bit of over the last year and a half, they're likely to get way deeper into memes, which means they had to speed it up, because if you start digging into a meme, you're like, wait a minute, I see all these little pieces in here. They help break you out of being hypnotized by it. So you just have to keep foisting them on you, right? More and more, faster and faster. So now I think they're just going faster and faster for that reason. That's why it seems like it's because time is speeding up, but it's not. It's just because they have to make it feel that way so that you have fake FOMO, so you just move on. Even though a meme could have taught you something.
So how does that tie into loneliness, which is like, feels like it's at an all-time high?
It is. People are like, I lost all my friends. But
they're not sad posting because they feel like they shouldn't be, because they're supposed to be responsible about, like, I should be lonely right now. It's my civic duty to be lonely. So people don't have the outlet of like, oh, I'm so sad.
Well, then people spend a lot of time. I mean, I always wonder this you're 28, so between say 18 and 26 or 18 and showing up here or whatever, mm-hmm. You spend a lot of time like thinking you were late to like accomplish things. Like I have so much to accomplish, but I'm so late to it.
I don't know. Like, there was elements where when I would see people by the time I kind of was ready to join Day Life Army 25-ish, I did feel more like that. I was kind of tricked a little bit into my life by being like, ooh, you're the youngest person in your industry. Because I was, when I joined it, I had the best job for my age that you could get. And I was always the youngest.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, I'm doing really well. I'm like ahead. of everyone, but definitely not in like my musical career. I was like, because they're just churning out stars like in test tubes. So like, but
they are. So there's no way to really keep up with that.
But then I was like, well, and I was making instrumental music, so I was like, I could peak when I'm 45 because like,
ain't that true?
It's not that big of a deal. Like, Ryuichi Sakamoto making, his best music when he was like 60 or whatever. So, but I've always felt late, like on a smaller scale. I don't know.
I can't remember why I asked you that. There's a reason I asked you that.
Yeah.
You felt late, if you were like late to the party or not. Oh, because of being lonely.
Right.
If you're running around trying to make sure you're on time, you catch the wave, or you got the thing, You're running around doing that. And there are still people who run around and do that. They just run around digitally and do that. NFTs, online gambling, like they're just going crazy. Sports betting, all of that. You don't realize you're lonely. That's all that's happening. You don't realize you're lonely. I think people are realizing they're lonely, and they've been lonely the whole time. They just had a way to distract themselves from it.
Right.
Speaking of which, I'm going to distract you again and help you deal with your loneliness, because you need to know how to make sure I can keep making these videos, though. I make videos all the time anyway. It's not why you're going to watch. I got sucked into some YouTube shit there for 1 second.
Right.
This is sponsored by Automat, not because it needs sponsorship. I don't know what else to say. That's not like why it's sponsored by Automat. It's brought to you by, is what people say, but like that's kind of inaccurate too.
Yeah.
Just wash, all right? And on top of it, like
together.
Just wash, because like you're gonna figure out that some of you are gonna watch it, you're like, oh, that was content and I want to pay for it. Like when we first got on Facebook and shit, we were telling people they need to be paid for their content. Why do you think we would say that? I mean, look at you now. You ended up in this horrible position because you were used, abused, and tossed aside, and no one cared. At any rate, we're like, at least put a price tag on your content, which is like making a boundary. There's a price tag on yourself. If the person pays it, they pay it. If they don't pay it, they don't pay it. But they know it costs something. It's not on you. Now that's on the other people consuming the content. So yes, always put a price tag on it. We're talking about valuable stuff. That's why there's a price tag on it. So just wash. PayPal.me/washitall. Cash.me/$washitall. Get in contact with @RealCultGirl on Twitter if you want any secret currency links to be able to send secret currency. And you can go to 100f@automat.me email to get in touch with Jesus about washing physical assets.
People can also wash Tomb, right?
You can wash Tomb, but you'd have to have a Tomb account. Some of you do. How many people have Tomb accounts? Probably 40 people. 40, maybe even up to 50. There's legacy accounts that aren't like activated yet that I haven't given people access to activate them, but they're there. So yeah, you can wash Tomb for sure. You can wash Tomb. Washing Tomb doesn't get you more Tomb necessarily. You got to figure out ways to get more Tomb.
And there's Tomb floating around there.
There's a lot of Tomb.
You can find.
Yeah, people have it. Some people have a lot of it.
And
some people have a whole lot of it.
And they may be hoarding it because they like don't want you to.
Because they think it's a scam, even though you get it for nothing.
Right. They don't recognize that they're just hodling.
They are hodling. They are. Too bad I literally was like,
too bad it evaporates.
Wait, it evaporates. And also I was thinking about, I've been talking about this a lot, about like pricing structure is like really important, which we'll get into with memes. Pricing structure is really important in any society or economy. Now, every story, Mason written, many of them, and like promoted.
Sure. Freemason
written and promoted stories. People are going to like advanced cultures and lands, and everything's always cheap. You ever see that? Like inflation, doesn't but does it matter if everyone if you have to spend 1 million ducats to do the thing, or if you have to spend 1 ducat to do the thing? Does it matter? In a math, in a computer, a computer.
No, what aren't yen?
managed.
Yen. I mean, everything's way more expensive in Japan, but the yen is like 1,000 to 1 or a few hundred to 1.
Right. I mean,
So,
but there's a vibe though
There
of
is
saying
a
to
vibe.
someone like 2 million tums, right? As opposed to being like 24 tums.
yeah,
right?
to be a millionaire in Japan, I still feel like everything is kind of USD based. in
It
the
still
pay
is.
matrix,
No, it
right?
still is. Even though the pressure dollar is losing its, all this stuff, what's happening. Sure.
Right.
But yes, for the most part,
Right.
if someone get their hands on US dollars, they're very excited about it.
Right.
All over the world, for the most part. Yes, absolutely. So I'm having, kind of debates and UFED oriented conversations,
Right.
yeah, about whether we go big or small. So the people who are holding their tune right now, it could go either way. You could be filthy rich in tune or it not matter at all.
Right.
Because ultimately, if you get to the 4th level of tune, there is no tune. And the exchange, it's just free exchange of stuff because you are responsible for yourself. Yes, and you're responsible for yourself and you know what your price tags are. You know how to negotiate with each other and get equal exchange for things. But until you get there, there's different types of tune you can use. Tune that evaporates in hours, tune that evaporates in weeks and months, and tune that evaporates in years.
What is that? It's almost like merit-based communism.
No, well, China actually is like doing this thing. I was like, stealing that idea from me about just turning your money off, literally just taking it. Like we have a little of that going on in what we do with tune, but it's not. No, it's just you would use that tune for different things.
Right.
So if you're someone who's like, I just need to get day to day, that's where I'm at with time right now. Like I need to take care of myself day to day and grow and learn in a day to day manner. Like if you're a young person who's like, I'd rather rent than own. Yeah. I'm not really ready for ownership. Ownership is a responsibility I'm not ready for. Right. Because it means I'm responsible for others as soon as I'm an owner of something. And I can't take care of myself. So I'm just then you're gonna get the like more evaporating tune because you gotta move that. It's gotta move, it's gotta circulate. That's right. Currency's gotta circulate. So you're gonna get the one where you're like, I need to get rid of this today. And if you're not gonna spend it on you, you give it to somebody else who will spend it. Right. To get it spent. So that's why it's that way. The way that Chinese banks, is this one bank that's like experimenting with the digital turning off your money? Yes, it's based on the fact that you didn't something. Right. Like, you know what? You seem like a bad person. It's the same thing as seizing your assets. It's not any different, right? But
is that what?
I don't
they do
like
that to
idea.
Our guy over there?
You know, we were like, he's gone. And then they were like, make a video. They like made one video. Now he's gone again. No one's seen him since. And his mistress, alleged mistress. We're talking about a very, very rich Chinese man, and I think you can figure out who it is, who owns a very huge company.
Likable guy.
A likable guy.
Compared to most billionaires. He's
really likable when you see him talking to Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk seems really unlikable really fast. His alleged mistress, who's an actress, they put her in prison for like keeping money from her career aside to probably try and like eventually get free of having to be an actress. Right. She's gone too. He's quiet and she's gone. So shrug emoji. I like his wife. I don't know if that's his mistress. I don't actually care as mistress, frankly. Right. His wife's cool. His kids, he even has more than one kid, and you don't even know that. You know that? Right. He has more than one kid. They're a little younger than them.
The story with the kid, him and his kid, is interesting.
It is interesting. They're an interesting family, but no one wants them to be that interesting loudly.
They're not interesting in the way that Elon Musk and Grimes are interesting, which is in all the wrong ways.
Tesla tequila is all I have to say. When you run out of shit, you end up at alcohol. I know. Yeah. I used to make alcohol. I used to sell alcohol. When a billionaire actor runs out of ideas, they end up at alcohol.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
He would, yes. Or
and now he's maybe
P. Diddy, perhaps. P. Diddy, perhaps. No, you end up at alcohol. They always do. You just look, tequila. Like
it's always tequila. It's
for a reason. is the only, stimulant alcohol.
Yeah.
They're like crazy town, get crazy, man.
Crazy.
Do that tequila. Ugh.
And it gives them a little bit of a spice, like flavor.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. A little less white.
Did Donald Trump ever
Diddy.
make alcohol? He never went into.
Doesn't he have an? Let's see. Does Trump have an alcohol? I see his wine.
Clothing.
Come on, he's got wine.
Does
They
he?
all have wine. Let's see.
Jay-Z's got champagne or had champagne.
He sold that shit. Yeah, Trump has wine. I knew he had wineries. Trump wineries, 1,300 acres of breathtaking scenery. Virginia. Let's see. Trump Distillery. The easy part is he always names it after himself.
Yeah.
So you can always find. Let's see. Trump vodka.
Somehow I
He
hate
licensed it. I mean, he doesn't like.
I hate
it
it less
make
if it's just your name, because it's just a gift shop item at the gift shop of life, which is basically everything that you're doing. Like,
well, I mean, they always a licensing job, right?
Yeah.
They don't make the thing.
Yeah.
They find someone to make it for them, and I don't know. That is also a meme that is running out of any, steam.
right. I guess I mean that, like, trying to be like, I also am like, I can name things. It's like, no, you can't. You're an actor.
That's true.
Anything.
And that's true. It's not really their cup of tea.
Right.
So making your name, but it all that goes back to like
Right.
families making this with memes through philanthropy, and it is gross.
It is.
There's no reason to name a building after yourself. There isn't. There's no reason to do that. People do it all the time. Free Mason. They get that masonry for free. They're like, give it to me. I licensed that from the giants that came before. So what are the elements of a meme with lasting value? I would say elements and factors. We already said time is a factor.
Right.
A meme that gets deeper with time, broader with time, because like you said, you can have a fractal meme that just goes like all crazy. There's a million different versions of it, right?
Well, I'm memes that interact with like the original memes.
How do you mean? What are the original memes?
Archetypes.
Yeah.
Like that link with archetypes, like, or even like, Genesis said there would be frogs raining from the sky, and that's happening as a meme. There are frogs.
You mean
everywhere.
the plague?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the plague and the frogs and Pet Day and like it all kind of. So when they kind of tie into the larger memes,
The longest running memes in our current society.
right?
Religious memes.
Yeah.
Now, let me just say, science is a religion too.
Sure. Yeah.
Religious memes. Yeah. They have the longest life cycle. Do you think young people recognize that? When I say young, I mean 25 and under.
I don't think they're thinking about it very much.
They don't care.
Maybe Gen Z, like almost. There is like an element of like they don't know, but they know, just like how religion is mimetic.
Yes.
Religion is a meme, like, and it languages as well. Words are as well.
Yes. Do they think they're being used? And that they will be discarded?
I think
consciously, unconsciously.
I think millennials really think we're being used. I think Gen Z, every article I've read about Gen Z and anything is like, they're realistic and they're about their money. They're on the hustle game. Like they're taking, they were born during
Uber?
a recession.
What do you mean, like Uber? Like that's like you're a hustle game?
Like they're about their shit.
DoorDash is more like it.
They're colder. They're like they're more
lonely.
just like lonely and cold and like solipsistic.
Yeah.
Rather than, I think millennials are kind of sad, and we're, our generation's a little bit, it's like soyed in a different way. It's not, I don't think we have as much literal soy pumping through our blood in our bodies, but there's like the dream has been soyed pretty hard.
Right.
Because we were born during boom. We experienced more bubbles, and Gen Z experienced more dips.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You did.
Yeah.
You did. They just popped on you.
Right.
Right. But that's not, I mean, you know, but you have to combine that with the speed at which the powers that be, as they are named, often have been using humans up. They're just using them up way faster. Way faster. And I mean, I have on well-founded authority that the most powerful demographic of humans is right now, because of what the ages people live to, is between like 40 and 60.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, in terms of this thing gonna happen, not gonna happen, you're gonna get everybody to take a jab in their arm, or you're not. Like, that's the age range you have to like gun for. And the one thing that they're very vulnerable in is their children.
Right.
So
that's Gen X.
Gen X is kids, which are Gen Zers.
Yeah.
That's they're very vulnerable. And some millennials, right?
Millennials, yeah.
Of course, but that's their weak point, if they have one.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, they have them, but that's a huge weak point. So powers that be are going to go after the youngest people.
That's what.
In order to get to their parents.
Being evil and then experience something like fucking having a kid is like, it's such a weird, like, you stay evil, like,
yes.
Yeah, you do, but you feel like
do.
It's like Darth Vader, like,
wait, but do people? But then you have to like deal with all of the ideas that like they're not even having kids a lot of the time.
Right.
They're their own, et cetera, et cetera.
Partially probably because they don't want to get the feel of the dark.
We were watching Beyond Porn, After Porn, whatever that series is called. And I completely forgot about the porn star who lost her baby to Jesse James and Sandra Bullock. Do you remember this having happened?
No.
When Jesse James and Sandra Bullock were together, he had a baby. Jesse James had a baby with another woman, and she was a porn star previously, and Sandra Bullock stole that baby. She went to prison. Like, it was crazy because, well, she went to prison for other reasons.
By the way, I believe
we're running out of time. Tax evasion is apparent. $80,000 in unpaid taxes. She went to prison for 6 months, and then Sandra Bullock, while she was there, stole her baby. Basically, I mean, sure, they went to court. Sure, she said a bunch of things about the woman that people believed or didn't believe, but ultimately,
Sandra Bullock,
she took her baby.
Whatever court case.
She took her baby. So I'm just saying, they don't have their own babies necessarily. Sometimes they just take other people's.
Right.
And if they take other people's,
them maintain their evil.
And they have some of them have very evil intent in terms of raising that baby. So they stay evil.
No, they do.
And it's a useful leverage against them. And when I say people turn evil, that like they're allowing other entities to take charge of their lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
The non-human takes control of their life. And in that case, the human gets at least, if they have their own kids, the human is easily manipulated even further into evil and giving up consent, because you must consent to have evil take over your life, through using the kids as leverage.
Right.
Entities use the kids as leverage. So yeah. I mean, that's what happens in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Several generations worth in Star Wars facts.
Keep doing it.
They just keep doing it. They're like, no, it's like, but you're kids. And then it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Anyway, yeah, we're coming to the end of the live because, Instagram. You should wash Instagram. You should frickin' wash something. Okay? Wash. You know how. I'll even write it on there. Wash something. Hate us and wash. Hate us and wash. Instagram's over now. Which I should take care of. I know, a little bit. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Shared ITV. Yes.
You're more visible in the last half of the video.
Hey, we're just, doing some work here on the side.
Slice of life.
My tongue out. So it was. Hey, I almost had something good. There we go. It's reversed on here.
Oh yeah, I should have. I forget. Yeah, I have two.
You have two sides.
Oh,
he has
no,
two sides.
not this one. I used to. I didn't stop going live on Instagram.
All right. So, anything else to say about? Oh, I have one last thing. Weapons of war. Memes as weapons of war. So, weapons of war and elements of a lasting meme. I will just give my final thoughts on those two things. As a weapon of war, it's been used forever to manipulate outcomes for humans, because war isn't real either, because they're not really wanting to battle each other.
Right.
To manipulate the outcome. I feel like currently it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I find the memeing ridiculous. The we're gonna do police brutality meme real quick. Loud, everyone's face. Everyone has to see it. Fake, real. Doesn't we're gonna do this really loud in everyone's face. And then the other side's so Order of the Phoenix comes up with a police brutality story. Yeah. And they plaster it everywhere. It's everywhere. You can't get away from people's names.
Before the events even happen a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Like the fucking Obama.
Oh,
and the
Obama
meme.
putting up the
Bones
RIP
meme.
George Floyd.
Well, it wasn't so much that it said RIP. Yes, they did do that.
It did say that.
It did. But even the image of a young black pair of hands, male hands, holding up a sign, that image was on Obama Foundation way early. Then they just stuck the George Floyd poster in it. And that was before George Floyd was ever shot.
Sure.
It's called the internet.
Yeah.
Shot. Before he was ever, any arrangements were made. And he was put into that position. Actors, they're all actors. How many actors there are, guys? Are actors all liars? Yes.
Yep.
I used to be an actress. Actors are all liars. It's part of the deal. It's kind of thing. If you're going to make it, they want you to be lying. Ask Johnny Depp. There's footage where Johnny Depp, everyone keeps replaying it because he says he asks a big group of people when the last time an actor attempted to, a president.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's like, oh, everyone's laughing and clapping. He's like, oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not even an actor. I get paid to lie for a living. And then he goes on, but no one ever talks about the fact that he said that.
When
he gets
was
paid
that?
to lie for a living. 2018 or so.
Okay.
It was in the middle of Trump's era. So I feel like they put up a huge story, huge meme. It's no one can get away from the meme.
Right.
No one can. Little kids are walking around being like, hands up, don't shoot. Doing praising the sun god all day long, everywhere. And then there's a mass shooting epidemic suddenly, in the last month.
Right.
And there's the event that happened in Colorado at a King Soopers grocery store. Worst meme ever. Poorly executed, poorly acted.
Forced
Very forced meme. But they know it's a forced meme. Let me just say, Golden Dawn's not bad at memeing, okay? They're not bad at memeing. They've been memeing a lot longer than Order of the Phoenix has been memeing. They're not bad at memeing. It has to be that bad because they need it to be that bad for later when it all comes around, right? They had to have bad memes and be because on that meme, the point of that meme is that it's in response to the other shooting memes, police brutality memes, sorry.
Right.
Mass shootings are in response to the police brutality memes because it's saying a Muslim man walked into this grocery store and killed a bunch of white people. And nobody cares.
Boulderites. They even killed your white
liberals. Yes. It's set up to answer a bad meme with a bad meme.
Yeah.
And I find that insulting. Not
As a
only
human?
as a human, I find it insulting. Like bad story after bad story. Netflix, the worst memes in the world. Like I can't believe how bad content is. Come on, guys. They used to spend some energy on tricking us. You don't spend any energy to like, here's some crap. Oh, but it has J-Law in it. You'll love it. You're like, no one cares about it. No one wants to watch it. It's bad. It's poorly crafted. It doesn't take you anywhere. You're like, why is this even on? Half the time you can't finish them.
Right.
Because you have no interest in finishing it. It can't get you there. I find that offensive because of the incredible power story has in humans' lives, because humans just are stories. That's what you're doing every day. You wake up and you're a story. That's what you do. And then in terms of lasting value, as a weapon of war, I think it's insulting. As lasting value, my last question is, can you become a meme of lasting value? Can you decide to be a meme of lasting value? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yes, it involves, others are involved, relationship is involved. It must be to make a meme of lasting, a meme of any kind. Do you have the power to do that? And I will take it back to our sponsor easily from here.
Right.
But what do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, there's certain, I don't know, like my first answer is like, it takes kind of giving up, like control of, it takes giving up control over who you are and becoming in command of who you are. But it's someone who's trying to control who they are all the time. You can't really meme that. You cannot transcend into a meme because you're spending all of your time doing that. You're actually doing other things. I mean, if you're just fucking living the life, I mean, the oldest meme ever is Jesus, right? Like, OG, Yeshua, who.
Well, the most consistently longest valued meme.
Right.
I mean, that's, yeah.
And
not the oldest meme necessarily.
Yeah, true. And that came from just like him living a reality and all the way, and kind of giving up control and doing that. And then you will be memed, because that is the rarest story right now. And it is. It's what everyone's looking for.
How to be a meme of lasting value because you gave up control over whether it's. Well, yeah, I would agree with you. And that what I'm going to say before we close out this live about washing. When you wash, the point is, because you can wash all kinds of things. People wash time. That's how they end up soldiers.
Right.
Oh, what? That's how you end up a soldier in the daylight military? Is that you wanted to wash all your time? Oh, not that confusing. At any rate, you can wash anything and manage to get your soul back. Souls are lasting memes. Hello. Why else would people like, soul's going up, you body dies, and I mean, everything. All the ideas around soul come from the fact that it is a lasting meme.
Right.
It does not die, even if you die. It's the part of you that doesn't die. A meme that lasts. Lasting value. And it's what's of value. Like every single meme factory out there deals with the soul.
Right.
All of them, because of how much power there is out of the human soul. Every meme factory, from Yahweh and Yeshua to Hasatan and Lucifer and Apollyon. I almost called him Abaddon. Apollyon. That their entire battle or fight is over souls, because that's power on earth plane. earthling souls. That's what works. So how about you do some washing? Is it that side that you're supposed to be on, or the other side on Facebook? Do some washing. This is monetary and asset washing. If you'd like to wash in some other way, you should probably get in touch. There's an email there. You can wash other things, your time, your skills, your social ads, your reputation, social ads. Some of you have been asked to do those as a way to wash, and
people hate that.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable. They'd rather just wash their filthy money, which is fine. You can do that. Wash your filthy money instead. It's all belief, and it's all going to make the difference. Because you're supposed to be giving it up, taking it back, and being like, no, this is mine. And guess what? You're going to get time. Some of you are like really overwhelmed by that. Like the time makes you feel depressed, it makes you feel lonely and confused and scared. Mm-hmm. That can happen. That can happen. We have to go from there. There's no more dislike button. I just realized that.
On what?
Look, there's no dislike button. Do you see that? Look, there's no dislike button. They really got rid of it on their channel. That's fine. You can't unlike me. The problem with this is dislike is also washing. Do you understand? Hating us is also what? Hate us like crazy. No one here cares. I hate us. Hate Life Army on Instagram. Hate us. Like, it doesn't matter. You'll be washing. And you can get back pieces that are not yours. They're not mine. I'm holding the thing. It's not mine. I'm not trying to keep it. You just take it. Take it back. Give it to yourself. Take it back. So that's all I have to say. Go to these links to do it. PayPal.me/washitall. Cash.me/$washitall. Email this guy at 100f@automat.me. Get in touch with @RealCultGirl on Twitter, all spelled like you think it should be spelled.
Right.
Like you believe it should be spelled. And she can give you links to wash your secret currencies too, because
those need wash so
bad. They need wash so bad, and we don't even use it. I don't know. They just sit there. Do you guys understand that? There's gonna be a point where they need to get out. We move them because some of them are more evil than others. Mm-hmm. So we move them around into less evil corners of that world. But why does it need to be secret? You gotta wonder about that.
Why does it need to be secret, and yet every transaction is public? But the thing that your public transactions in secret.
But also,
so it's all the greatest parts about privacy don't exist, and then
all the worst parts of privacy exist. Yeah, yeah. You don't know who the actual bank is, right? Yeah. You don't know who's actually issuing the currency. Not always, but for a lot of them, that is true.
#BigClout.
$200 million later. It's who is that guy? Don't worry. Wants to stay anonymous. Doesn't want to get involved, could influence things if you knew who it was. What we didn't get to on this live, which I want to get to the next time, is about cults that have been memed out of existence.
Right. And
the continual threat of those cults. Why we're still here, even though we're a sex cult. Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. I do it like this now. Yeah. I do it like this now. A sex cult. And why we're still here, that supposedly is what we were doing.
Hey, Daily Mail article
later. If only, a guy said the other day that we owned a strip club. I told you this, right?
Yeah.
Guy said we owned. I was like, we do. There's so many things we could be doing that'd be easier than what we're doing. Because I've owned shit like that, and I know it would be easier than what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
But we're not. And so when someone says you own a strip, I'm like, a little piece of me is like, if only.
Right.
If only. If only. I don't know. Or was associated. I'm sorry. He also said maybe I was associated with one. So I was like sideways ownership. I don't know any strip club owners. I used to, and maybe this is where it came from, a combination of things, maybe. I used to know guys that would make commercials for strip clubs in Oregon. Because Oregon has a lot of strip clubs that are more fun than almost any other state.
I didn't know strippers until I joined this army, but it's not because we run a strip club. I just, strippers I didn't know a single stripper. And then I came here, and then there was a lot of strippers around.
There was just a
But-
few, a lot.
They were not stripping on behalf of us.
Hold on. And you just saying there was a lot, relatively speaking, to the number of people. Just like we had relatively a lot of trans people involved, even though we just had more than normally in the number of people we had.
Yeah.
But same with Black women. I mean, if you go, people say it's mostly white heterosexual men.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the numbers were kind of equalized at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually the numbers became equalized. Like, we've had everybody-ish,
Yeah.
at least partially,
Yeah.
right? They were part yellow, part black, part this, part that.
Right.
Yeah. We've had a little bit of everybody. So
They want it to be that simple. They want it to be
a
that
meme
easy.
that can come and
They
go.
can meme it if it's
Meme it
just
and then it's
white
over.
men and Black women.
Meme it, then it's over. Well, I think that some of them don't even include the Black women. I'm the only Black person here, and I'm running all these white guys and making them. I mean, there are
And you're a white supremacist.
sure there are pictures of me with just all white guys around. There were times where that was what was happening, but there was also a lot of other. How do you think we got all the women here? Pictures with a bunch of available guys. It's not complicated. Women are not even complicated.
I had to get rid of a couple of the available guys before the women
because
felt
the women were like,
safe
those are
enough.
not available
They are
guys.
not. They are occupied. And Satan
They're not
has them.
available. They're occupied right now, yes. So, yes, I want to talk about, next episode of SïDI.
Yeah.
I mean, unless something happens in between, it's more exciting.
Yeah.
But whatever. Next time, we should talk about cults that got memed out of existence.
And are we thinking about, do we have a time for our viewers
Next
to
week,
come back in?
same
Okay.
time next week, do a SïDI episode. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Maybe before they see that, they should maybe go and try and find cult podcast episodes about the Life Army.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Tell them how to find it, because I don't know.
So you can go on, I guess, cultpodcast.com. It's an easy DuckDuckGo search. But Cult Podcast, I believe they're on. I'm not going to give the full spiel, but they're on major podcast platforms. And there's a 3-part series on Daylife Army. I was supposed to be interviewed for them, but I guess that has not happened yet. They kind of chickened out on that. But they do spend some time talking about the thing.
I think I haven't heard it. I hear it's some stupid, but what is a comedy podcast other than some stupid, right? But it might be interesting to hear them meme us,
right?
Yeah, before we talk about cults getting memed out of existence,
right?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hope you guys watch this after, once it gets uploaded, more people get to see it. But you guys have a great go day afternoon. In the future, we'll probably let you know what time it is in our matrix in the future. But I say that at the end. Have a great go day and really enjoy your fun day tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Nope.
What? Oh, no, I'm so bad at it.